Hey, girl. So, we watch TV or whatever. Listen, Netflix is just out here doing the thing. Another hit show, Guinea and Georgia. Where were we? How did I not know about this show? And it's been on since 2021. This show is amazing. Whoever wrote this, I mean, this is like some twisted writing. This is incredible. So, we're at season 3. We binge watch. All right. Guinea is her mother's daughter. Do you hear me? She's standing on business for her mama. Listen, Georgia is still locked up. The season opens up. You know what happened at the end of season 2. George is locked up, right? The mayor, he's a coward. He leaves her, okay? And I mean coward, coward. He's listening to that campaign manager and messes up his whole life because he loved Georgia. He knew what was going on with Georgia. Georgia told him the truth. She just left out a few things. And our girl Georgia got a closet full of skeletons. And well, a couple of them fell out, not all, because at the end of this season, we hear more. But let's back up. All right. So Guinea goes around and she is like, I'm going to get my mom out of jail. So she wraps up all the loose ends. She is just as conniving, cunting, and I will say a tad bit smarter than Georgia. Okay. The second version always comes out better. The firstborn daughter is always the better version of the mother, might I add. Listen, you know that the trifling dad, Austin's dad, that beat, Georgia and was, bad to her and everything. And, Austin popped him with a pow pow in season 2. Well, she wraps it all up in a little bone. When I say she, I mean Guinea, baby. She's on her job. You hear me? Listen, Guinea goes to her little brother Austin and comes up with a plan because backtracking, Mayor Paul with his little snaky self, he is such a spineless man in this show. He cuts her off. He divorces her. He stops paying for her lawyers, everything. So guess what? Guinea's dad, the amazing Zion, his dad new girlfriend, the new girlfriend, Simone, the, graduate, of Harvard Law. She defends her, right? Guinea goes to her and asks her. She skips over her dad. She don't tell him nothing. She skips over her dad and she goes directly to the source, to the girlfriend and asks her to defend her mom. Please get her mom out, right? Because at this point, she is looking like a serial exer. And I mean, in real life, she actually is because look at how many people Georgia has quietly knocked off between season 1 and season 3. Baby, Georgia is a strong cup of coffee, child. That lady is, she look crazy. Now, remember, Cynthia's husband is the one that Guinea, put the pillow over his head, right? Or as we saw. And remember, Austin was in that closet at the house and he saw what happened. Austin knows what his mom did, right? It was kind of like a mercy Xing, shall we say. In between Guinea playing, little Miss Olivia Pope, she gets pregnant and knocked up by the guy Wolf. The one that she lied to and, gave him a whole different name and all that at the poetry class. She goes and she has a termination, right? And, they showed that in the episode, and, she wanted her mom to help her handle that. And of course, Georgia was there. She helped her handle that. On the flip side, Guinea's whole friendship circle is falling apart. Maxine is exhausting. This character gets on my nerves. She is neurotic and she's chaotic and crazy. And in high school, baby, they would have been X'd her out. They would have been done with her. She would not have friends. But her brother Max is a drunk. And Max and Guinea have a relationship like Zion and her mom, if you paid attention. Okay, she is her mom's daughter, definitely. Cause he is messed up. He's literally a drunk. He trashes the AP English class because of what was happening with Guinea in that class. That teacher was a racist. Now, he ends up going to rehabilitation. His mom is just oblivious. She's one of those moms, Ellen, that is just like my child's going to be okay even if my child is like, completely crazy. Yeah. She doesn't want to admit that her child is a drunk. She finally sends him to rehab at the end of this season. Finally, he should have been got help like back in the first season. Now, Guinea gets in cahoots with her brother Austin and tells Austin, you have to choose your mom or your dad. Now remember, Austin's dad, that no good sucker, he kind of grabs and squeezes the arm of Guinea in the hallway and tells her, you're just like your mom. I'm taking my son back to Michigan with me, right? Because remember, she's in jail, Georgia's in jail, and they're both with their fathers. Remember, Zion's mom tried to tell Georgia dumb self, who takes no advice from nobody, she's an idiot, that she needs to get a custody agreement in order just in case something happens. If she had done that, the kids would have never got separated. And when the Child Protective Services came in and took them away, they would have never ended up with, Austin's dad. Okay. So when Guinea goes to Austin school, they cook up a plan to get their mom free from jail because they have to give another suspect. Baby, Austin got on that stand and told them people that his daddy put the pillow over the man's head and took him out of here. When I tell you Georgia was sitting there like, what? Because she knows she did it. She know that Austin sent her. When I tell you, Guinea was sitting there like the boss she is, okay? Guinea was sitting there with Olivia Pope vibes, baby. Like, yeah. So Guinea goes to Little Miss I Don't Like Nobody, which is Cynthia, the evil lady that ran for, mayor in season 1 and 2, and then, Georgia ruined her career and everything. Okay. So that's her husband, right? The one that got took out of here. That's her husband. Well, she was having an affair with the cafe guy. She was having an affair with Joe, Mr. Blue Plate, the restaurant, Blue Bonnet, the restaurant that they have there in the town. Guinea told her, listen, if you don't say that my brother's dad did it, I'm going to tell the whole town that you were having an affair and there's cameras. When I tell you that lady got up there and said, yes, it's possible that the dad did it. And yes, he was a dangerous man. When I tell you, Guinea was sitting in that courtroom straight cold Olivia Pope. She was a cross between Olivia Pope and Annalise Keaton, baby. She wrapped that trial up in a little bow and got her mom free. And she looked her mom in the face and told her, I am you. She said, and we've always carried the weight together. That cut Georgia deep because Georgia thinks everything is about her and she's immature. Georgia's still that same little 14, 15-year-old girl that ran away from home. She has not, dealt with her ish. She needs therapy. This show is deep. It's amazing. It's a 12 out of 12. Definitely go watch. Drop down in the comments below and let me know, have y'all watched this? Have you even heard of this show or whatever? Let me know if y'all like it. I will catch y'all the next time I'm down and around watching TV or whatever, and I gotta go back to doing hair. Bless y'all.